Subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video like this one. What you are about to hear in the next few minutes could completely change the direction of your life. Keep watching. There is an exact moment in the history of every great civilization when everything could have ended. An instant when the weight of the entire world came crashing down on the shoulders of a single man. And that man had two choices: crumble like the columns of a ruined temple, or rise like the mountains that have withstood millennia of storms. The difference between those two choices was not physical strength. It was not wealth, not inherited power, not the favor of gods. It was an internal decision. It was the choice to keep going when everything was screaming to stop. Have you ever wondered what separates the names that are carved into history from those that disappear into the silence of time? The answer is not in the books they read. It is not in the families they were born into. It is in what they did in the moment when they were completely alone, with no audience, no applause, no one to witness their struggle. It is in those invisible moments that character is forged. It is in the private darkness of each person that greatness is either born or dies. Think about Alexander the Great. At 22 years old, he led an army against empires that had existed for centuries. His own generals doubted him. His enemies mocked his youth. There were voices inside his own camp saying it was impossible. It was madness that he should go back home. And do you know what Alexander did? He did not answer with words. He answered by crossing the river. He answered by marching. He answered with action when the entire world expected him to quit. I'm not telling you this so you can admire Alexander. I am telling you because you have a river in front of you right now. You have a border you have not yet crossed. You have a dream that sits on the other side while you stand on the bank, waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. Perfect conditions are a lie that fear sells you every single day. Alexander did not wait for better weather. He crossed in the storm. Human history is a sequence of people who refused to accept the limits the world tried to place on them. Marcus Aurelius governed the greatest empire on earth while losing children, while facing plagues that decimated entire cities, while endless wars consumed the resources of his people. And every morning he woke up, picked up his journal, and wrote about how to be a better person. Not about how to be a greater emperor, about how to be a more complete human being. Because he understood something that most people will never grasp. The only territory that truly matters to conquer is the one within. Are you tired? Good. Tiredness means you are working. Are you filled with doubt? Perfect. Doubt means you are thinking deeply. Are you afraid? Excellent. Fear means that what you are chasing truly matters to you. No real achievement happens inside the comfort zone. The comfort zone is the cemetery of every dream that could have been. Seneca, the Roman philosopher who lived 2,000 years ago, wrote something that echoes to this day as if it were written yesterday. Life is not short. We make it short. We waste entire years in voluntary mediocrity, waiting for permission that will never come. Waiting for someone to come and save us, waiting for the right moment that is always tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. And suddenly we are looking back on a life of unrealized possibilities, asking the silence, what if I had tried? That question, what if I had tried, is the most painful of human existence. It is heavier than any failure. Because failure means you showed up. It means you had courage. It means you looked into the abyss and jumped, even without knowing if you would fly. But the what if carries the weight of everything that never was, of everything that stayed in the imagination for lack of action. The Spartans had a concept that shaped one of the most fierce civilizations in history. They did not train their young men to win. They trained them not to stop. The difference is enormous. Winning depends on external circumstances. Not stopping depends only on you. And that is why a handful of Spartan warriors at Thermopylae managed to hold against an army of hundreds of thousands for days. Not because they were invincible, but because they had decided they would not stop. That decision, made before the battle even began, is what defines the outcome. What decision have you made before you begin? Or are you still waiting to decide? Because the world does not wait for the undecided. History does not reserve pages for those who sat waiting for absolute certainty. Certainty is a privilege that no one has. Even the greatest leaders in history moved forward through the fog, made decisions with incomplete information, bet on themselves when there were no guarantees of anything. Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon knowing there was no going back. That moment, that single step, changed the course of Western history. It was not an army that did that. It was a decision. It was one man saying, "I am going all the way, no matter what happens." And you have that same power inside you right now. The power to cross your personal Rubicon. The power to say, from this day forward, nothing stops me. But let me be honest with you about something that most videos will never tell you. The transformation will hurt. Growing hurts. Killing the old version of yourself to make room for a greater version hurts. Every habit you break, every limit you surpass, every comfort you abandon in the name of who you need to become will demand a price. And that price is real. There are no shortcuts. There is no magic formula. There is only the work done in silence, in consistency day after day, when no one is watching. Roman emperors had a tradition during their triumph parades through the streets of Rome. While the crowds cheered, while flowers were thrown, while the entire city celebrated, there was a slave behind the emperor repeating quietly, "Memento Mori." Remember that you are mortal. Remember that this will end, not as punishment, but as wisdom. As a reminder that time is the only resource that cannot be recovered. And you have that time right now, not tomorrow, now. Every second that passes is a choice. Are you investing in building your best self, or are you letting time slip away while comfort keeps you still? There is no middle ground. There is no neutral zone in life. You are either moving forward or stagnating. You are either building or crumbling. Choosing not to act is also a choice, and it has consequences. Greatness is not for the chosen ones. It is not for those born with advantages or for those who got lucky. Greatness is for those who decided. For those who said yes to necessary suffering, yes to discipline when motivation disappeared, yes to continuing when every sign pointed toward giving up. It is for you if you choose it right now. You carry inside you a capacity that has not yet been fully tested, a strength that has not yet been fully demanded, a potential that has not yet been fully revealed, and the only way to discover how far you can go is to go, to begin, to take the next step, even with your knees shaking, even with your inner voice doubting, even with your heart screaming that it is impossible. Because when you get to the other side, when you cross through this phase that feels endless, when you walk out of the darkness that feels permanent, you will look back and you will understand. Every difficult night was preparing you for a greater dawn. Every fall was teaching you how to rise with more strength. Every failure was shaping you for a victory that could only belong to someone who had been through all of that. Your time is now. Not when conditions improve, not when you feel ready, not when someone comes to give you permission. Now. With what you have, with who you are, on the way to who you are going to become. This is the truth that history repeats in every era, in every culture, in every corner of the world. Those who reached the top did not get there because the path was easier for them. They got there because they decided they were going to arrive, regardless of what the path placed in front of them. And that decision, that unshakable resolution to keep going, is available to you right now, in this very moment, without needing anything else beyond your own will. The story of humanity is your story. The question is, what chapter you choose to write starting today. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit the notification bell. In the next video, we are going to explore the story of the greatest warriors humanity has ever produced and the mental secret that made them impossible to break. You do not want to miss that. Until then, keep moving forward. The world is waiting for your best version.